Welcome to the Dodgers Blue News channel. Before the news, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Now, let's get to the Dodgers news.
Hey there, Dodgers fans. Today we're diving into two major moves shaking up the backstage of Los Angeles, two names that could completely change the direction of this franchise in the coming years. Let's start by talking about Tarik Skubal. There's still an entire offseason and a full regular season to go before the Detroit Tigers ace becomes a free agent. But judging by how things are going, many already see him wearing Dodger blue in the not-so-distant future. Skubal was absolutely crucial to the Tigers' success this season. And shortly after, his contract became the #1 topic in backstage conversations. When Scott Harris, the Tigers' president of baseball operations, was asked about it earlier this week, he practically dodged every reporter. Here's what he said: "I understand the question, and I know you have to ask it. I've learned that general comments on this subject tend to get chopped up and turned into narratives. I can't comment on our players being traded, on free agents, or on players from other teams. Tarik is a Tiger. I hope he wins the Cy Young for the second straight year. He's an incredible pitcher, and we're lucky to have him." Now, let's talk about the numbers that really matter here. Jon Heyman of the New York Post dropped a bomb. There's a $250 million gap between the Tigers' last offer and what Skubal is likely to get when he hits free agency. That's right, $250 million apart. Heyman revealed that the Tigers offered Skubal $170 million last offseason. But considering this pitcher's absolutely dominant trajectory and the likely capture of another Cy Young before he reaches free agency, we're talking about a floor of at least $324 million. That was the amount Garrett Cole received in 2020. And given how the market has evolved since then, a $400 million contract is absolutely on the table for Skubal. So, here's the situation the Tigers will face either next offseason or by the trade deadline next year. If they know they could lose Skubal for absolutely nothing, would they be willing to trade their star? If the answer is yes, and all signs point that way, the Dodgers will certainly be at the front of the line to make an offer. The Dodgers farm system remains the strongest in baseball. The combination of high-end pitching and position player prospects Los Angeles has could be exactly what Detroit is looking for if they decide to make Skubal available. One name to keep an eye on is Jackson Ferris, whom the Tigers could target as a long-term replacement for Skubal. But there's another strategic angle here. For the Tigers, in a scenario where Skubal gets traded, dealing with a National League team would almost certainly be the smartest move. It's hard enough for Detroit to even have this conversation, but it would be even more painful if Skubal ended up on another American League team, blocking the Tigers' own path to the Fall Classic. Now, let's talk about what Skubal would bring to Los Angeles if this move actually happens. We're talking about an elite left-handed pitcher, a true ace who can anchor any rotation in baseball. Skubal isn't just another arm, he's the kind of pitcher who sets the tone for an entire playoff series. His main role with the Dodgers would be clear: to be the #1 starter in October. Los Angeles already has pitching depth, but Skubal would be that go-to arm you trust in Game 1 of any postseason series. A dominant lefty with a fastball that easily reaches 97 miles per hour, a devastating slider, and exceptional command, he'd be the missing piece to turn an already strong rotation into something truly unbeatable when the games matter most, with Skubal leading the rotation. The Dodgers would have the kind of pitcher who can neutralize the best lineups in the league, someone capable of going deep into games and giving the bullpen that crucial rest during a long playoff stretch. He'd be the pitcher Dave Roberts wouldn't hesitate to send to the mound in the most important moments of the season. But the conversation doesn't stop here, folks. Now let's talk about Kyle Tucker, the name most strongly linked to the Dodgers lately. The Dodgers are back in the World Series to defend the title. They won last year after eliminating the Brewers in the NLCS, but while they wait to see which team between the Mariners and Blue Jays will emerge from the ALCS to challenge them for the Commissioner's Trophy, it seems the front office is already planning its next steps. Jon Heyman of the New York Post reported that Los Angeles is expected to target star outfielder Kyle Tucker once free agency opens right after the World Series. It's not exactly a surprise, considering the Dodgers are always in the mix when it comes to the sport's top free agents. They won the sweepstakes for Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto during the 2023-24 offseason. And although they missed out on young star Juan Soto last winter after being one of the 5 finalists, they didn't stop there. They still spent big, adding Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki, and Tanner Scott, among other key signings. Now, as impressive as this team has been this year, one of its few notable shortcomings has been outfield production. Andy Page has emerged as a legitimate starting center fielder with a 113 WRC+, but Teoscar Hernandez took a significant step back last year compared to his first season in Los Angeles, posting just a 102 WRC+. And the Michael Conforto experiment ended disastrously, as he finished with only an 83 WRC and a negative WAR in 138 games before being left off the postseason roster. With Conforto returning to free agency this winter, there's an open outfield spot in Los Angeles where Tucker would fit perfectly. Tucker, 28, is a 4-time All-Star and the consensus choice for the top free agent of this winter. He broke out with the Astros in 2021 and since then has maintained sensational averages of 277, 365, 514 with a 143 WRC+ over 5 full seasons of work. His resume was so impressive that it convinced the Cubs to part with top prospect Cam Smith, all-star third baseman Isaac Paredes, and young starter Hayden Wesneski in a 3-player package to acquire Tucker ahead of his final year of team control. And Tucker was exactly what the Cubs expected in the first half of this year, hitting 291, 395, 537 with 17 home runs in 83 games through the end of June. At that point, Tucker looked poised to join Ohtani, Soto, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the conversation for contracts with guarantees exceeding $500 million this winter. But things changed in the second half. Tucker made 2 trips to the injured list and hit just 225, 348, 342 in 53 games starting July 1st. Finishing with fewer home runs this year, 22 in 136 games, than the 23 he hit in only 78 games during his injury-shortened 2024 season. Heyman writes that Tucker's difficult second half slightly lowered his contract expectations, but a $300 million deal remains realistic, with up to $400 million as a possible ceiling for the outfielder. That's the kind of figure that will certainly price out many suitors, but probably not the Dodgers, who have a $395 million payroll this year, according to roster respurs, and will see that number drop to $329 million next year without making a single offseason addition. Even if Los Angeles doesn't want to exceed this year's payroll land, there's no indication that's the case. They'd still have plenty of budget space to add Tucker LaCane. Looking at other potential contenders, the Cubs have shown some interest in bringing Tucker back next year. But it's worth remembering that they've never spent more than the $184 million they gave Jason Hayward during the 2015-16 offseason, the largest contract in franchise history. It would be a significant leap out of the club's comfort zone under President Tom Ricketts and President of Baseball Operations Jed Hoyer. Although one could argue that the trade for Tucker itself was already an unusual move for them. Heyman also suggests that the Red Sox, Phillies, and Giants could be in the mix for Tucker's services, though none of those possibilities seem as clear-cut as Los Angeles. Boston has a crowded mix of outfielders, with Jarren Duran, Roman Anthony, and Wilyer Abreual left-handed under long-term team control. The Phillies have made it clear that their main priority this winter is keeping DH star Kyle Schwarber, and it's still uncertain whether the Giants are interested in adding another outfielder on a massive deal after trading for Rafael Devers in June. So, what would Tucker's arrival really mean for Los Angeles? We're talking about adding a proven elite bat to the middle of the lineup, someone who can protect Ohtani and Freddie Freeman in the batting order. Tucker would bring that intimidating presence that makes opposing pitchers think twice before issuing an intentional walk. He would raise the offensive level of the entire team. For Tucker, wearing Dodger blue would represent the chance to compete for a title every year, something he knows well from his time in Houston. It would be an opportunity to join an organization that invests to win, one that stops at nothing to build a championship roster. In Los Angeles, Tucker would have the perfect platform to completely restore his image after a rough second half and re-establish himself as one of the best. Players of his generation, surrounded by talent that complements his skills perfectly. The fit makes sense on both sides. The Dodgers get the impact outfielder they need, and Tucker gets the chance to shine on baseball's biggest stage. Now, what can we expect from the Dodgers going forward? Knowing Andrew Friedman and this front office, they won't just sit around and wait for things to happen. Los Angeles has a habit of moving quickly and decisively when an opportunity presents itself. If Tucker is available for the right price, don't be surprised if the Dodgers are among the first to make a serious offer. As for Skubal, patience will be key. The front office will monitor every development in Detroit, every rumor, every sign that the Tigers might be open to trading him. The Dodgers have the resources, the prospects, and above all, the determination to build a roster that not only competes, but dominates year after year. This offseason promises to be busy in Los Angeles. The championship window is wide open, and this organization knows exactly how to take advantage of it. Now, let's take a quick look at these two potential moves. Skubal and Tucker aren't just top-tier players, they're exactly the pieces that fill the Dodgers' biggest current needs. An elite left-handed ace to lead the rotation in critical moments, and a proven outfielder to strengthen a lineup that needs more consistency in the outfield. We're not talking about incremental improvements, we're talking about transformative additions. The timing couldn't be better. The Dodgers are in their prime contention window with Ohtani, Freeman, and Betts still at the top of their game. Adding Skubal and Tucker to that core wouldn't just strengthen the roster, it would create a potential dynasty. It would build a team that doesn't just win one World Series, but positions itself as the clear favorite year after year. Of course, nothing is guaranteed. Negotiations are complex, competition for these players will be fierce, and the numbers involved are astronomical. But if there's one organization in modern baseball that has repeatedly shown the ability to close these kinds of impact deals, it's the Dodgers. They have the vision, they have the resources, and, most importantly, they have the will to do whatever it takes to win. In the end, if these moves come to fruition and there are real reasons to believe we'll be witnessing the construction of something truly special. A roster that combines depth, elite talent, and the winning mentality that defines this franchise. Skubal in the rotation, Tucker in the outfield, and a star-studded roster ready to dominate the league for years to come. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think? Which of these two moves do you believe is more important for the team, bringing in Tarik Skubal to anchor the rotation or adding Kyle Tucker to strengthen the outfield? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, Dodgers Nation.